Mewtwo is back, and better than ever. Mewtwo was added to Legends Arceus and is allowed on the ranked ladder. I hosted a tournament using the ranked ladder rules, and Mewtwo was able to win my tournament. Honestly, all the top cut teams utilize some fun Pokemon. So I'm going to go over the top 4 teams from the tournament. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Today, I'm going to start with the 4th place team, so I will be going over all of the top cut teams, so all 4 of the teams that were in the top cut bracket. And like I said in the intro, I actually think all of these teams have some really fun Pokemon on them, and some of them do have repeating Pokemon, but if you had asked me to guess what repeating Pokemon are these teams going to have, I would not have guessed the Pokemon that they utilized. So starting off strong, we do have our 4th place team utilizing a Shuckleberry Ampharos. I think I mentioned this before, but I really like Ampharos just as a Pokemon, and so it's been really fun to see Ampharos kind of be able to shine in Legends ZA, ranked and in competitive Legends ZA, more than I've been able to see it shine in VGC, like, at least the times when I've been playing. And I think, like, a lot of that is because Ampharos actually has, like, very reasonable bulk, and has access to light screen and reflect, and being able to set up your screens in Legends ZA is very, very useful, whether Ampharos uses the screens, or whether you swap out and a different Pokemon can set up and use the screens. Very, very useful. Additionally, rocking that charge, being able to increase your Spadef, and then also increase the damage output of your Electro-type moves, and then click your big Thunderbolts, right? But I do want to point out something interesting. So I think for a lot of Ampharos, I see mostly 252 in HP and 252 in special attack, but this Ampharos is bold. Yes, is bold with 252 defense. So this Ampharos is, and Shuckleberry, this Ampharos is really focused on staying power, and considering it was able to top cut the tournament, I do think this is an interesting way to run Ampharos. We have Ampharos next to the Mega Metagross with Protect, Heavy Slam, Earthquake, Ice Punch. So I actually commentated and watched the top 4 bracket of this tournament, and Protect is one of those moves that I think is so rewarding when you can time it properly in Legends ZA, and not very different than VGC in all actuality, but when you can time it properly and you can dodge a big attack and then hit back with your own attack, it feels incredible. And the player who was able to get 4th utilized Protect so well, like so well. Because if they were going against a Garchomp or something, or if they were going against a Chandelure, which we will also see in Top Cut, then you were able to protect from the fire type move or the ground type move, and then hit back with your own big move as well. Like either hit back with Ice Punch if it was a Garchomp, or Earthquake if it was a Chandelure. So I think the Protect is really interesting. We like the Heavy Slam. Heavy Slam is just great for Xerneas, great for Fairy type Pokemon. Earthquake, I think that's a really good staple. It's able to hit other Steel type Pokemon for super effective with it, which is very useful in a Xerneas meta. You're automatically going to see a rise in Steel type Pokemon. So knowing that you can hit Steel type Pokemon, big deal. And Ice Punch, very good for flying types. You get to hit Yveltal for super effective as well, and then of course being able to hit Garchomp and Gible. Do not forget about the Gible. But being able to hit Garchomp for 4 times super effective is also really nice. Being able to hit Dragons for super effective is very, very nice as well. And yes, you do see that correctly. To round out this team, we are seeing Mega Mewtwo X. So this Mega Mewtwo X has quite a staggering attack stat. It looks like the bar is like going off the freaking screen. That's how strong Mega Mewtwo's attack is. So this Mega Mewtwo is 252 HP, 252 attack, adamant, just like literally pumping out the damage. We see bulk up. I like the bulk up, being able to increase both your attack and your defense. So especially if you have your light screen, your reflect, you can go into your Mega Mewtwo, you can click bulk up, you make yourself even bulkier, and then Thunder Punch to be able to hit water types and flying types for big super effective, Brick Break for stab as well, and Brick Break, like I was saying, Light Screen and Reflect, your screens are pretty common in Legends ZA. Like, if you're playing on ladder or if you're playing in a tournament, I can almost guarantee you will see screens quite often. So being able to kind of waste your opponent's time, right? Your opponent took the time to set up their screens, all that kind of stuff, and then you just get to go, break through their screens, and then you get to hit them with your full power because they don't have their defenses buffed anymore, right? And then I do like the Iron Tail on here. Being a part fighting type, you are weak to the ever-present Xerneas, right? So having a way to be able to just absolutely bop Xerneas feels very, very good. I think just the Iron Tail is a super cool tech as well. And I just like the Brick Break and the Thunder Punch. And I think Thunder Punch is kind of a personal preference if you wanted to run Ice Punch or something, because you're like, okay, I have the Thunderbolt on the Ampharos, I don't feel like I need the Thunder Punch, but then the same could be said, you have Ice Punch on here, so maybe you feel like you don't need the Ice Punch on the Mewtwo. It's really all personal preference, but a super cool team. It's always fun to see, like, the new Pokemon. Like, Mega Mewtwo X isn't new, but it's, like, in the grand scheme of things, Mega Mewtwo X isn't new, but it's new in Legends ZA. So being able to see some of the new Pokemon to Legends ZA get to shine so quickly is always fun. Now we do have the third place team, and we do have some extremely fun picks on this team as well. First, you're going to see the Machamp, 252 HP, 252 attack, adamant nature, go another bulk up mon. So just really valuing setting up your attack and your defense to be able to hit back with big Earthquake, another Brick Break mon. Like, screens are just so good in ZA, so then breaking screens is equally as good in ZA. So seeing Brick Break there, Earthquake, another great move, just being able to hit those steel types, those ever-present steel types, super effective is a big deal. Being able to hit ever-present fire type, super effective is a big deal. Being able to hit electric types, super effective, also a big deal. And then the Ice Punch, we love taking care of Garchomp. We love taking care of Garchomp. We love taking care of the dragon types. So all that makes sense. Then we do have the Focus Sash Chandelure. And the Focus Sash Chandelure is running a lot of HP, a lot of special attack, but a little bit of speed as well, rocking that modest nature. Calm Mind, Heat Wave, Solar Beam, Shadow Ball. Boosted up plus move Heat Wave does the amount of double KOs I saw Chandelure get was absolutely wild. Like, do not sleep on this Pokemon. Look, absolutely massive special attack stat, just hitting the stab Heat Waves. And I do like the Solar Beam. I think it's great coverage for water types as well as ground types. And then the Shadow Ball, I think the Shadow Ball is really nice into Mewtwo's, that's a really big deal. 2, into Metagross and Mega Metagross, again, that's also a big deal. So the Shadow Ball coverage is great. Also, there aren't that many common normal types in the meta right now. Like, you definitely might see some, like, you absolutely might see some, but there's none that are super, super common. So just having another stab move that you know is going to be doing damage is also a very, very big deal. And then to round it out, we do have the Life Orb. Yes, the Orb of Life on the Electros. Again, rocking that bulk up, just kind of proving how good boosting both your attack and your defense can be, plus the charge. So you can go bulk up, you can go charge into wild charge. You're doing damage, like that, and you have Life Orb and it's stab. Like, you are doing damage. And then I really like the Liquidation as a secondary move, being able to hit fire type super effective, I think, is a very, very big deal. I did see a couple liquidations come out into the opposing Chandelure, because there's another Chandelure in Top Cut, spoilers. Also, a Charizard won the tournament, so being able to hit Charizard before Mega super effective is also a very big deal. And being able to hit Mega Charizard X for neutral is also very, very nice as well. But I really do think, like, what we're seeing, the trends are, one, being able to boost up your attack and your defense at the same time is a very big deal, because not only are you making yourself harder to KO, but you are making sure your damage output is also increasing. And then also Brick Break. We're seeing how useful Brick Break can be, being able to bust through the screens that your opponent has set up, so you can really hit them with your full force. Chandelure number 2 in that second place spot. So we are seeing, but this time, I believe it is the exact same set. Different EVs and different item, but exact same attacks. Rocking that Calm Mind, rocking that Heat Wave, rocking that Beam that is Solar, and rocking that Shadow Ball as well. But this time with the Expert Belt, and just like going 252 speed, oh, I think it was an HP, 252 speed and 252 special attack, modest nature, you're saying, I'm going fast and I'm doing damage. Like, this, to me, this Chandelure screams we're trading, right? Like, I may have to pay with my life, but I'm gonna pick up either a single or a double KO for the price of 1 health. For I should say, for the price of 1 KO on your side. So I think that's a really fun way to run the Chandelure as well. And this also just proves, we had a Chandelure in 2nd place and a Chandelure in 3rd place. So I feel like this also shows there's not one correct way to run a Pokemon. You know, a lot of it can come down to what you feel like is personal preference, how you like to run the Pokemon, what you think is good into the meta, and everything like that. But the Expert Belt is really nice. I think Expert Belt makes a lot of sense on Pokemon that are running like 3 to 4 different type moves. So the Chandelure, right, it has the Shadow Ball. So you get the Expert Belt boost on the Shadow Ball. You get the Expert Belt boost on the Solar Beam and on the Heat Wave. So you're getting like that boost on all these different attacks, which I think is huge. And then, like I said, we're going fast and we're doing big damage. Next, we do see the Garchomp. Focus Sash Garchomp. This is actually so cool because a couple tournaments ago, Gible did win the tournament and it was Focus Sash Gible. So I feel like you can use the idea of setup into big damage for a lot of different Pokemon. Like, it doesn't have to be Gible. You know what I mean? So I think that this Garchomp is using a similar technique to be, and this team got second, like, Sash Garchomp got 2nd place, and it was very close. Got 2nd place by 1 point. By literally 1 point. So being able to click Swords Dance, and then you have a huge Dragon Rush. I am a huge fan of Dragon Rush. The amount of times we saw Dragon Rush where Garchomp was able to dodge out of the way of a big Ice-type attack was huge, and then hit back with a +2 Dragon Rush, and either pick up the KO or then be able to put the Pokemon in range of like an Earthquake or a Stone Edge. Like the pseudo protect moves, again, if you can time them properly, just feel so incredible. So we do see the Swords Dance, we see the Dragon Rush, we see the Earthquake. Those are pretty standard, but then we see the Stone Edge. Instead of something like maybe a Thunder Fang or something like that, we do see the Stone Edge, and I like the Stone Edge a lot. Being able to hit flying types, you have your increased crit chance as well, being able to hit flying types, being able to hit the opposing Chandelure, and there was a Charizard that won, spoilers, the tournament. Being able to hit that Charizard 4 times super effective before Mega, and then still be able to hit Charizard X super effective after Mega, I think is a really, really big deal. So you can, whatever Charizard X does, you can Swords Dance, you can live, and then you can hit back with 3 different super effective three different super effective moves, which I think is a really huge deal. And then to round it out, I would not have expected double Electros and double Chandelure to be 2nd and 3rd in this tournament, but we are seeing this is a slightly different set for Electros. Life Orb Electros with Charge, Wild Charge, Bulk Up, but then that Outrage. Rather outrageous, if you ask me. I do like the Outrage here. I think that there are definitely Fairy types that would be immune to this, but just saying, okay, I'm gonna click Bulk Up, and then I'm gonna click Life Orb, Outrage, and you're gonna have to deal with it. You're just gonna have to deal with this damage, swap out, or eat an insane amount of damage. I think is a really fun way to run Electros. I hadn't really seen Electros, like, I've seen it a little bit, but I like commentated the finals and everything, and I hadn't seen Electros really in form like this before, and so it was so cool to see the eel just absolutely go in this tournament. And then we do have the first place team from the tournament. First Pokemon is that Charizard X, Swords Dance, Earthquake, Dragon Rush, Flare Blitz, rocking 252 HP, 252 attack, Adamant Nature, doing damage. And I think, like Swords Dance, Flare Blitz, and Dragon Rush, those are all pretty common. I was actually talking, so I will have all of the people tagged and linked in the description down below who did Top Cut this tournament. So I was actually talking to the winner of the tournament about running Earthquake on Mega Charizard X, and I really do think it makes sense in a meta. Like, if you think about it, right? Xerneas, like, kind of centralizes the meta in a way. I don't know if I think I'm using that word correctly. And what I mean by that is a lot of people will be running answers to Xerneas. So what are some answers to Xerneas? Steel-type Pokemon. So Earthquake hits those Steel-type Pokemon super effective. Obviously, not all Steel-type Pokemon. I know Mega Skarmory's out there. But I'm just using this as a basis. Hits those Steel-type Pokemon super effective. So Steel-type Pokemon are on the rise. What is good into Steel-type Pokemon? Fire-type Pokemon. Earthquake also hits those Fire-type Pokemon super effective. So I think Earthquake is just a great meta call right here. We saw it on the Machamp as well. Just being able to hit Steel types and Fire types, which are very, very present, super effective, is a really big deal. But the star of the show is Life Orb, nasty plot, Mewtwo getting a little nasty out here, so no Mega Mewtwo. Simply just Life Orb, nasty plot, going for damage. That big Psy Strike, very powerful Psychic type move with the stab. Then you also have the Shadow Ball, which is nice into the Chandelures that we saw in Top Cut, which is nice into the Metagross and Mega Metagross as well. Also nice into the opposing Mewtwo. And then also the Ice Beam. Ice Beam, just a great move into Garchomp, 4 times super effective. Really nice into other ground types, into flying types, into dragon types. Like, Ice Beam is just extremely solid coverage right now. And then, like I said, the nasty plot, just to give you that even bigger boost, so you can plot up and you got your Life Orb damage. Like, Mewtwo was packing a punch. And then we do have another Ampharos rocking the Magnet to increase your Electro-type damage output, which makes sense. This Ampharos is only running Electric moves, and so like we saw earlier, this one's a little bit different because this is 252 special attack and 252 HP, modest, unlike the other one was bold and had a lot more defense investment, but a very, very similar, which I think the same set, right? Reflect, Light Screen, you want to set up your screens, Charge, T-Bolt, and I feel like Ampharos just feels so good with its bulk, with its ability to set up screens and swap, or its ability to set up screens, charge, and then like snipe a KO or two. When I was using Ampharos, that's what I felt Ampharos was so good at, was being able, because Thunderbolt has like very, very good range, right? So your opponent might not even see you, and then you can, like, early game, you can like snipe a KO, you can maybe even pick up 2 KOs before anyone else has picked up any KOs. I am just very impressed with Ampharos in this meta as well. But I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say about the Top Cut teams. I really like doing these videos. I think it's really fun for people to kind of see what the meta is looking like, for people to see different takes on different Pokemon. I think sometimes when we are getting ready to play like a competitive form of Pokemon, particularly right now ZA, let's say, maybe we kind of get stuck in this idea of like, oh, I have to use this Pokemon because it's good, if that makes sense. But I feel like people have been so incredibly creative with the Pokemon that they've used, with the way that they're training their Pokemon. So I just love doing these kind of showcases, showing that lots of different Pokemon are viable, are good, and there are also lots of different ways to train those different Pokemon, And, committed trainers are able to pick a Pokemon they want to use, and, maybe they won't win their first tour, maybe you won't win your first online ranked battle, but with practice you can definitely get better and better, and it also just is a fun way to kind of read the meta look what the meta looks like, especially with the addition of Mewtwo and Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y. I do host these tournaments over on my stream, which I will have linked in the description down below. I've been hosting like maybe 2 tournaments a week, so definitely if you ever want to participate, it is honestly a great time. They've just been so fun to host and also so fun to participate in. I also will commentate over finals and everything like that. It's like legitimately just a great time, so if you ever do want to check that out, obviously, the more the merrier. You are more than welcome. That is going to be it from me today. So, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you did enjoy this content at any time, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. And I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye!